from other women, former cheerleaders, current cheerleaders, and some of the things that they've gone through?
I've been hearing from a lot of cheerleaders over the last 6 weeks, and there's so much commonality in their issues and situations that are unnecessary, and it would be free for the NFL and for the teams to change what's going on and make this a 2018 kind of employment rather than a 1910s kind of employment. And I've heard from basically cheerleaders from every team and some from the NBA. And what's interesting is that I've been hearing from women who have actually made complaints about sexual harassment or discrimination, but they settled and signed an NDA saying they couldn't speak about it. Well, every cheerleader on every team signs an arbitration agreement with the team, which says you can't tell anyone, you can't file a lawsuit, you can only go through arbitration, which isn't public. And when you do, everything's confidential and private. And then if they settle and sign an NDA, nobody knows that they've actually had a problem or signed these things. So how many women are there out there that actually were harassed, were subject to discrimination in some way, have these horrific stories like we heard from the Redskins? We don't know because they're sweeping them under the rug as they come out.
And the NFL is aware of those NDAs?
I'm sure they are. I mean, if they're not, it's their responsibility to be aware of that. I mean, the teams and everybody employed in the NFL, which is everyone, has a responsibility, according to the NFL rules and regulations, to abide by the federal and state laws. And I mean, I have found multitude of rules and regulations from the NFL that applies to all these employees that they're breaking, and the NFL is not doing anything about it. And if they're making these girls sign these rules and that they're bound by these rules and regulations, then the NFL also has not only the right for them to be bound by these, but also the responsibility to make sure that the other employees are also bound by those and they're treated in the right way.
So you heard from the NFL basically in the 11th hour. If nothing comes from that, if no meeting takes place, what's your plan?
I really think that there is an issue here. I really think that there are problems within the cheerleading organizations. And it's a problem that can be easily fixed by changing the rules and regulations. And it would be very simple to come in and be collaborative with me because I am an employment lawyer. I have represented businesses. I've updated their rules and regulations. But also I have this unique amount of information about what goes on in cheerleading. So let me bring that knowledge to the table and work with you on making this fair and professional and free of discrimination and harassment. And if that happens, then the NFL and the teams will save money in the future by not being sued by these women who are being subject to these things. So it's actually going to benefit them if they will meet and actually do this in good faith. If they're doing this as like, we're going to do this PR, pretend like we're going to meet with you, that's fine. Then we'll go after the money issue and we'll do it like most lawyers and just be brutal and go after everything. But first chance is we really want to come to the table and actually make a difference here, because that's the goal. It doesn't matter if my clients walk away with money if there's no difference being made in the NFL. What we care about is women and this being changed for them.